It's October, season of spooks, month of monsters, and one of my favourite times of the year. In celebration, I'll be doing a series of short videos, quick looks at some of my favourite horror-themed media. For me, horror has always been about atmosphere over shock value, dread, unease, and discomfort over jump scares. That feeling of morbid curiosity where we have to know what happens next, but we don't dare to look. And it's media that evokes these feelings that I'll be exploring this month. Some will be your more typical horror. Some may be more light-hearted experiences, while still retaining that heavy horror influence. As a heads up, there will be minor spoilers, but I won't spoil the endings of anything I talk about. Visual novels may not be the first thing that springs to mind when we think horror. Nonetheless, being a genre with such a heavy focus on storytelling, it's little surprise that it's no stranger to the fearsome and frightening. And for a delightfully dark experience, we need look no further than Spike Chunsoft's Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
Our protagonist and playable character is Makoto Naegi, an average high school student selected at random to join the ranks of the elite at Hope's Peak Academy, Japan's #1 school for the best and brightest, boasting an impressive roster of ultimates, young prodigies who are the most capable in their respective fields. Named the ultimate lucky student thanks to his chance admission, we meet Makoto full of nervous excitement the night before his entrance ceremony, and follow his first steps through the academy gates before his luck ironically runs out. Fainting to later awaken in an empty classroom with bolted windows and no one around, something starts to feel very, very wrong. Reaffirmed as we rendezvous with the school's other attendees to find the entranceway sealed shut behind a solid metal door. Things go from bad to worse as the group tentatively make their way to the school gym for the ceremony to be greeted by Monokuma, a sadistic remote control bear with an appetite for bad puns and total despair. Monokuma confirms their worst fears as he tells them they're confined to the school indefinitely with only one way out: getting away with murder. Murder, or disrupting the peace as Monokuma calls it, will mark you as the blackened, resulting in a high-stakes class trial taking place, where the surviving students must figure out who did it or pay the ultimate price while the killer walks free. Alternatively, if the killer is found out, they alone face execution and the remaining students go back to daily life trapped within the academy's walls. As if that doesn't sound bad enough, Monokuma has a stash of personal information used to bribe and blackmail students, piling on the pressure until people start to crack. Disappearing as quickly as he appeared, Monokuma then leaves us in stunned silence in a room full of people we can no longer trust. All we can do now is survive in hope we can unravel the mysteries as to why we were brought here and who's behind this malicious murder game. The game itself has this wonderfully colourful style to it, and flip-flops between upbeat and zany or dark and gritty. It's not something you'd initially think would work in a serious setting, but the two themes play off each other incredibly well, resulting in welcome periods of calm or sudden horror, elevated by how out of place it really feels. The art style also does a lot to complement the gameplay, borrowing that rough painted anime style similar to Chunsoft's 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors. It's visually impressive without being too pretty to fit the gritty situation. Character designs are unique and full of personality, and have one of the most expressive sets of emotes I've seen in a visual novel. There are no generic presets here. Each character expresses themselves differently, and it does wonders to establish their quirks and create a cast that's fantastically charming, and very easy to get attached to, making murders and executions all the more heart-wrenching. The soundtrack is a fantastic mix of upbeat and relaxing daytime themes, sleuthy investigation accompaniments, and downright bizarre and creepy karaoke pieces for the murders, trials, and executions, used in tandem with the voice acting, which is surprisingly well done in both the Japanese and English versions. It can change the mood at a moment's notice, and is fantastic at absorbing you into the game's tense and twisted atmosphere. Danganronpa's true strong point, however, is in its writing and its execution. Often with visual novels, we are given roots based on a favourite character, and we can follow their story through until the end. You can befriend people in Danganronpa, you can gift them things they like, get to know their personality traits, they even reward you with bonus skills for the game's trial sections. But no matter what you do, any one of them is potentially doomed to die, and Danganronpa does not give a damn who you care for. It kills off whoever it wants dead, and in taking away that player control, along with Makoto, we begin to succumb to Monokuma's despair. The game is not so black and white with its morals either. It is not with cold and callous motives, but instead stories of desperation for freedom, hopes and dreams unfulfilled, that we send our friends to their executions. There is no winning here, no true satisfaction to be had in uncovering a killer, only sadness and guilt, left to weigh heavy on our conscience long after the chapter's end. We lose friends to murder, lose more at the hands of Monokuma, only to be put back into a rinse and repeat cycle we are desperate but helpless to change. And that's Danganronpa's ace in the hole. We are made to feel as desperate and scared as Makoto, witnessing repeated tragedy, each time tricking us into thinking we've learned from our mistakes, dangling hope on a thread just out of reach before it pulls the rug out from under us and kicks us while we're down. All while we watch Monokuma metaphorically grabbing the popcorn just to add salt to our wounds. For anyone watching completely turned off by visual novels or lots of reading, there is a Danganronpa anime that tells the same story. However, squashing the game's 6 chapters into a 12-episode series does not do the pacing any justice and lacks the character development of the game, subsequently affecting the overall atmosphere. Available for the PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4, and PC, it's definitely worth a pick up, and extremely hard to put down once you do. This is not a game set up to terrify you in a traditional sense, nor is it a place for cheap shock tactics. It's a fast-paced yet slow-burn type horror built on relationships, betrayal, and ultimately, despair.